Well, hello everyone. So, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about here. So, this is going to be a fresh from the top of my head kind of conversation. But I'm over here near Sutel and Moncrief. If you're from Jacksonville, then you know it's not a bad neighborhood, but you can't really call it a good neighborhood either. You know, there's a few elements of crime out of here that give it a somewhat bad reputation. But all in all, I've done a ton of jobs over here. I've done a lot of work for people over here, and I'd have to say 80% of the people over here pretty much just want to be left alone and live their life. But I went and delivered my mom bought that one storage unit a while back, had the stove and the refrigerator, so I delivered it over here. And I guess I don't know the whole situation, so there's a little bit of insinuation, or I don't know what you call it, but assumption. But it seems like the daughter bought the mother a stove and a refrigerator, and instead of saying, "Oh, she's so nice" or anything like that, they're like, "Well, how are we going to get it in the house? We can't get it in the house." I says, "Ma'am," I said, "with all due respect," I says, I delivered it, and I'll bring it right up to the door, but I don't feel comfortable going in someone's home, because there's a lot of liability when you go in someone's home. So, and that's something I explained to the lady whenever I bought it, or whenever she bought it. I said, "Hey, I'll deliver it, and I'm all the way on the other side of town, and it's fine. It's not a big issue." So, and I did it for a little tiny, little fee. So I made a little bit of money, pretty much just enough to put gas back in my truck. But no, it was just interesting to see, instead of being thankful, and I don't want to use grateful, but being appreciative, someone buys you something, and instead of saying, "Oh, this is awesome, we'll figure it out," it's all negative. We can't get it in the house, we're not going to be able to do this. And I don't know, it's a weird way to have that kind of mindset, so that's the only thing. It just kind of threw me off a little bit, is someone does something good and it instantly goes to a negative. In fact, I had a person comment on one of my videos, and I don't know if they was trying to be smart or funny or whatever, but it could have easily been taken as an insult, but I chose not to have it as an insult. They made a comment about how I need to lose weight, and I was like, yes, I do. Thank you for the motivation. Thank you for keeping me on my toes. That's how I look at the world. Like I said, I have hacked my brain to where all I do is think positive now. And I used to be a really negative person and a very bad person, and I did things that probably weren't, that were definitely not nice to people, and I don't want to be that person no more. So I destroyed that Eric that used to be around, and now it's the new me, the better me, the improved me, the me 3.0. So, but no, it's it's something else I've noticed, because I come over here and I eat so often. This little chicken place off to the right is pretty good. You go in there and you can get full for like $5, and that's the kind of food I like. Not necessarily soul food, but where the kitchen is basically renovated an old house into a restaurant. Them are the places I like going eating. You can call it a hole in the wall, you can call it a bunch of different things, but they're probably not the most cleanest places around, but it's damn good food. So, and almost all of it's fried. So, and that's probably why I have a hard time losing weight. But now, I noticed that they've opened up a lot of new stores over here, which is really good, because this place was a food desert for a while. In fact, right here, this is Moncrief and Sutel that we're going across. And oh, you know what? I should have drove down Moncrief, showing you guys Ken Knight Drive. In fact, Ken Knight Drive is probably the reason Moncrief has a bad name, because most of Moncrief is not that bad. There's a couple of little spots, and Ken Knight Drive being one of the more interesting places. That's the word I'm going to use. So, But like I said, I've done hundreds of jobs over here in this area, and like I said, most people over here are pretty much just laid back. You know, they probably have a family member that's staying with them that's causing more drama than they want to deal with, but that's usually the situation over here. So, and I've thought about it. If you tell me if you think this is a good idea, but I've thought about trying to come over here and sitting down with some people and just having them interject their ideas on the neighborhood and what they think about it. Because I only know about this neighborhood for being over here, working over here, and meeting a bunch of people over here. You know, so I meet families, I meet homeowners, but I never really have an opportunity to talk with some of the people that's just, you know, hanging out. And I'm using the little quote things when I say that. But no, it's you know, the people I've met have all been fairly nice. I can think of one person that, you know, was 100% a, you know, let's call him a dope boy or a drug dealer or whatever. He, you know, that only because the specifications he wanted for his door install. You know, he says, I can you get me a door that the cops can't kick in? I says, well, it depends on what type of foot they're using. I mean, you know, if they got a battering ram, there's not much I can do about that, short of spending, you know, close to $10,000 on a spider door. If you don't know about spider doors, they're really secure doors, which I have installed a couple of them over the years. But for the most part, you know, most people are just kind of trying to stay out of the limelight, trying to not be noticed by the ones that are around here. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Hey, I finally got one of them traffic things, you know, weird stuff that happens on the road. Anyways, so, and there was one, in fact, I think I'm pretty close to it, but there's Martin Luther King Parkway, and then there's like Martin Luther King Road, and it's off of I think it's off of this road, Lim Turner. And but yeah, one time I was there putting in a door, and there was actually a shooting like 6 or 7 houses down, and SWAT came in and all that kind of stuff. And you know, they kind of wanted me out of the area, and I was like, listen, I'm just trying to finish the door. I was like, you do what you gotta do, I'm gonna stay in the yard, I'm not even paying attention to you, you know. And they're like, well, you know, I was like, I can't stop because then I won't get this person's house secured by tonight. I says, I'm going to be here working. Y'all do what you got to do. If someone starts shooting, I'm going to duck. You know, but that was many, many years ago, back when I was a different person. But yeah, I've done a lot of crazy stuff on jobs. I was even thinking about making a video about like some of the weird jobs that my customer had, or my, you know, various customers had, because I got some doozies to tell y'all if y'all want to know. But I was thinking doing like the top 5 or top 10 craziest jobs. Check out this van, guys. Look at them rims. That's just cool as shit right there. I love vans. I don't know if I've mentioned that before in this channel, but I do love vans. But no, I was thinking about making videos of like some of the crazy houses that I've been to, you know, both good and bad. I've thought about, you know, talking about, you know, I made the video not too long ago about the different jobs that people can get. And, you know, I thought about making a video about some of the crazy jobs that my customers have had. And when I say I got some doozies, I mean, there's one guy that was making $30,000 a month, and unless I've told you, there is no way that you will know how this dude was making money. You know, because he had a well, I won't say a mental disorder. He was mentally disturbed, I know that, but he had a thing that he couldn't get a normal job. Let's just put it that way. So, but nah, the dude was making like 30 grand a month, and yeah, you know. And then I can tell y'all about some jobs I didn't do that, you know, where the people were like certifiably messed up in the head, you know. So, but if y'all want to hear stuff like that, I'll tell stories about, you know, different people and different things, and I'll do it in a way that you'll never know who they are, and at the same time, you know, hopefully educate or try to put a positive or a motivational spin on it, you know, to where it's not just a story, but it's something that you know, I like learning from my stories. So, but this right here, I should see. I keep forgetting I should go different ways. I could have went straight down Kings Road, and you got EWC and Edward Wars College, and there's this one place called I think it's Burkhalter's Wrecking. If they're, I don't even know if they're still open, but they got like a giant missile out front and a big elephant. So, but I think the elephant was that paper mache. I don't think it was concrete. But no, I know about all these little places around Jacksonville. Maybe I should go and do like little, you know, behind the scene things that most people don't even know is here in the city. You know, in fact, one of the things I tell people about Jacksonville is like anything you want to do or go see. I mean, you know, like the clubs in New York, clubs in LA, you know, the parties, all that's here. But it's all like behind the door, and you got to know where to go to see it. You know, it's like Jacksonville has every single thing that every other city has. The only difference is we don't just put it out in the street. We you know, you got to know about it and know where to go to do certain things. So, and me being the door guy, I know most of the doors to go to. You know, I've worked on a lot of different businesses. You know, I've had a lot of unique customers. Let's put it that way. So, but anyways, this is just one of them things where I didn't quite know what to say. I just wanted to kind of ramble a little bit. I guess you know, for the true diehards, I will tell y'all something that I've noticed. Because let's see how many people are going to be still listening to this 12 minutes in. So, this is over years of me observing and coming to this area here. You know, this is 20th Street, aka Martin Luther King Boulevard. You got Avenue B, you got Sutel, Moncrief, Edgewood. I mean, this is what some people would consider the hood. You know, this is where shit goes down after sundown. But the one thing I've noticed is for the areas that are gang heavy, you know, for the areas that have a predominantly gang or thug influence out in the street, I've noticed that the people who want to just have a job, and when I say people, the men, okay, the men that just want to not be involved in a gang, not be involved in criminal activity, and just want to go get a job. And I don't know, again, this is things that I've noticed. I can't say 100% that this is true for everybody. And I would love for someone who has maybe had this situation to at least confirm or deny this. But I've noticed that a lot of the men that do not want to be part of the street will be, you know, let's just say sweet, or I don't know if they're gay or not, but they definitely act as if they would be gay. And you know, that's why when you go to a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the establishments where, you know, men have jobs, not all, but I've noticed quite a few of them have a little sugar in their tank, if you know what I'm saying. And I talked to one person who, he was a clapper. He was a lookout for a trap house. And I was talking with him, and you know, I was like, "Hey, why you got all these dudes around here that's kind of, you know, sashaying away?" He's like, "Well, you know, there's some guys that just, you know, don't want to be part of it, so they kind of stay low key, and it's, you know, it's not really thug or not really, you know, manly to beat up a dude who don't want to be a man." And it got me thinking, you know, I was like, I wonder how many people just put on a persona so they don't have to be part of the, you know, the street life or the gang life. And this is just, again, this is not fact. I'm not claiming this as being the truth. It's just things that I've noticed in 20 plus years of coming to this neighborhood, you know. And again, I don't live here. I just come here and I see things while I'm here. But, you know, I can tell you almost every restaurant I've been to here, and there's, you know, a man working at the counter, they're usually, you know, a little on the sweet side. So, and it's one of them things that I've just always kind of thought about, like, you know, and I thought if that is a persona to keep them out of violence, for those who don't want to be part of, you know, a gang or part of the what's the right word I'm looking for, the thug mentality, you know, because there are people that, for them to be considered a man in this area, they gotta beat up people, sling drugs, you know, do all these different things. Dude, you gotta shift, man. But no, it just, I can see that, you know, at least in some cases, being a way for someone to not be involved in a violent life. Let's put it that way. So, but that's just, again, this things that I just happen to observe, you know. And I had a guy working with me who was definitely not part of this neighborhood, but he had closer ties to it than I did because of his skin color. And he's mentioned things kind of similar, but he says not everybody, and, you know, but I'm not saying everybody. But anyway, this is just some things that I'm thinking about while driving through the neighborhood, and just reminiscing on conversations with customers and, you know, people I've met in many, many years of going around. So, like I said, I'm definitely not part of the street, but I'm not oblivious of it either. You know, I see when things happen and how things go down, mainly just for my own protection. Anyways, I think that's enough rambling. I'm gonna get back, and I've been working, I've been cleaning up and put a couple of doors online, and working on getting stuff sold and getting stuff cleaned up and organized. So, and I think I'm getting to a good spot here. In fact, by next weekend, I should have another storage unit empty, so I'll be down to 3. And which I think I had 3 at one point, but then I had to rent one because I got a bunch of stuff. But I should be able to have that one emptied maybe today, but most likely it'll be sometime during the week if the rain holds off. And I got everybody scheduled, so I got a whole week's worth of work ahead of me. But I got one customer I called, and I'm waiting for them to call me back. I haven't heard from them. But I got a day set aside with 0% chance of rain, as long as the weathermen don't lie. In fact, you know, the two jobs that you're allowed to lie, like you get paid to lie, is lawyers and weathermen. Let's think about that for a minute. But anyways, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, comment street. Just so I know who's the real people that kind of made it all the way to the end of the video. But just comment the word street. But on that note, peace, love, money, I'm out.